Welcome to the Partner Starter Institute, Module 2, addressing the knowns and unknowns of partner guidelines with the CPS Department of Arts Education. My name is Courtney Cintron, Ingenuity's Partner Engagement Specialist, and I will be your host throughout the Partner Starter virtual series. Each module has been designed to equip arts partners with tools and resources to support equitable, quality programs in Chicago public schools in an environment shaped by COVID-19, the economic downturn, and the anti-racism movement. The goal of today's module is to understand the role of the Department of Arts Education and navigating partnering with CPS in a shifting landscape. We'll also help you clarify where you can go for updates to partner guidelines and who to reach out to for any questions that you might have. If you have any pending questions after the module, there will also be an opportunity to enter your questions into the accompanying Google form, and we'll do our best to address those questions at the live Partner Starter on Friday, August 7th. So joining us to speak on this topic today is Jess Rodrigue, Operations Specialist with the CPS Department of Arts Education. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about what we'll be discussing today?
Thank you, Courtney. As you mentioned, I'm the Operations Specialist for the Department of Arts Education with CPS. My role is to support a host of operational work for the department, as well as grants management for schools, procurement and vendor issues in the fine art inventory, and more. Today, we will be talking about partner guidelines. I will introduce you to the Department of Arts Education team and what we do, the CPS 5-year vision, and an easy 4-step process on how to become an arts partner with CPS, COVID-19 and remote learning impacts, and what we know so far about the upcoming school year. Our mission in the CPS Department of Arts Education works to ensure that every Chicago public schools student receives a high-quality arts education by creating conditions at the classroom, school, district, and state level that allow the arts to grow and flourish. Let me introduce you to the DAE team. Julia de Betancourt is our Director of Arts Education, leading arts policy, equity, partnership, and access for arts all across the district. Rachel Claff is our Manager of Professional Learning. Melissa Root-Kellis manages all of our student programs. Jeff Waraxa, Manager of Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment, leads our Curriculum Equity Initiative for the arts. Lillian Blazer is our Arts Professional Learning Specialist. Jonia Leverett leads district-wide arts data and evaluation. Christine Rudy Reed is our Fine and Performing Arts Specialist, working on incubation and implementation supports for those schools. And I am the Operations Specialist for the department. Holly Abney is our Arts and Technology Librarian who works on arts and tech integration supports. Gabby Lopez is our Program Coordinator who runs daily operations for the Advanced Arts program. The Department of Arts also has over 100 miscellaneous employees across 4 student programs. The CPS 5-year mission, Success Starts Here, is to provide a high-quality public education for every child in every neighborhood that prepares each for success in college, career, and civic life. As a district, we will work to ensure that the following core values are adhered to in all of our planning and practices: student-centered, whole child, equity, academic excellence, community partnership, and continuous learning. We rely on arts partners across the district to shape and support our shared mission. The CPS instructional core centers on identity, community, and relationships. To accomplish this vision, we commit to continuous learning. How do you fit into the CPS mission and vision? CPS commits to academic progress, financial stability, and integrity framed through an equity lens. Where do your programs align with the CPS commitments? Where do they align to the core values? And how do your programs promote equity? In this section, I will walk you through the steps to become a CPS arts partner. Step 1, obtaining CPS vendor number. Step 2, background checks. Step 3, contracts. And step 4, getting paid as a vendor. Step 1, obtain a CPS vendor number. All partners must have an active CPS vendor number. To obtain a CPS vendor number, you must be sponsored by a school principal. The school will ask you a few questions, and once reviewed by our procurement department, you will receive a supplier application. Complete that application and provide the necessary documents. Be sure to plan ahead, as this review process can take some time, and it is only step one in the process. Step 2, do you need to get a background check? Determine whether your employees must complete a background check by using the vendor background check rubric linked in this slide. If yes, please see step 2 in our Arts Partner Flowchart for more details on the CPS background check process. What if you enter a school just once? Your employees may be considered level 2 volunteers, and you should become a volunteer organization. For more information on that process, please click the link to the level 2 volunteers in the slide. If you do not need a background check, you may move on to the next step. Please note that while your employees may have completed a background check for another organization, they still must complete the CPS background check. Step 3, do you need a contract to work with CPS? What type of contract you may need depends on how much money you will be charging for your services. If you are charging more than $25,000 per school year, you will need to become a strategic source vendor. For more information on that process, please click the link to the Arts Partner Flowchart. If you are charging less than $25,000 per school year, you are ready to do business with CPS and you may begin work. If some or all of your services are free, you will need to sign a no-cost services agreement with each school you are providing services to. Step 4, how to get paid as a CPS vendor. Before you start any work with CPS, you must submit a quote to the school you are working with, and they will open a purchase order. Under no circumstance should work ever begin before a PO is opened. Once the PO is open, you may begin work. When your work is complete, you may invoice for the services delivered. All invoices must be emailed to cpsinvoice@cps.edu with your vendor number, PO number, and invoice number in the subject line. Make sure the school receipts for services rendered. If you have questions about this process, you can email artsvendors@cps.edu. Again, always include your vendor number, PO number, and invoice number on all of your documents. And if you have questions about payment, email accountspayable@cps.edu. Now that you've seen how to become a vendor with CPS, please know that we are operating during unprecedented times, and there may be changes to that process as the landscape shifts. How will COVID-19 and remote learning impact this process? If you plan to work in a remote environment with CPS, you must obtain a tier designation from our procurement department. This chart illustrates the 3 tier designations. To operate within a remote environment with CPS, you must have a designation of Tier 1 or 2. To obtain a tier designation from our procurement department, a school principal must sponsor your designation. They will complete the remote learning tier request form and submit it to procurement for review. Most arts partners will fall under a Tier 1 designation. This process should only take 48 to 72 hours. Tier 2 vendors are partners that have been identified in a school level plan or have been approved by a network or central office chief. A Tier 2 designation may require a longer approval process. For more information on tier designations and working remotely with CPS, please view the training video in this slide. If you plan to work remotely with CPS, please familiarize yourself with our acceptable use policy for vendors. The only approved platforms for video conferencing with CPS students is Google Meets. For more information on platforms, please see the technology section of the vendor provider tier FAQ linked in this slide. I know partners have lots of questions about what the upcoming school year will look like. On July 17th, CPS released preliminary reopening framework and received community feedback for a 2-week period. The final decision about what schools will look like will not take place until August. This includes more specific guidance for arts partners. We understand you may elect to make decisions in the best interest of your organization regarding fall programming and remote in-person instruction. We recommend using the framework as a guidepost as you make these choices. For updates on the school year, please check the CPS Arts website and the Acceptable Use Policy page for vendors. We also suggest you stay in close touch with your schools as they build their school level plans for the fall 2020. Thank you, and we hope you will stay in touch with us. If you have any questions about being a CPS Arts partner, please feel free to reach out to us at artsvendors@cps.edu and follow us on social media. We look forward to working with you in the coming school year.
Thank you, Jess. Well, that's
Thank
it.
you, Courtney.
Thank you. That's it for Module 2. Tune in again soon for Module 3, Art, Look, and Data, Driving Equitable Partnership Practices with Ingenuity's data analyst, Emily Sabelli, and Julia Hinojosa of Arts and Public Life. In the meantime, make sure to fill out the Google form with any pending questions you'd like addressed during the live Partner Starter panel on Friday, August 7th. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you again soon.